Okay. All right. So lesson 6.1. This one says spelling mistakes in tag names. Now we've already kind of done some of this where we corrected things, and this kind of helps you troubleshoot your code. Okay. For some reason, I feel like we've done this one. Have we done this? We haven't done this one. I just feel like we have. Maybe it was on a quiz or something. All right, spelling mistakes in tag names. In this lesson, you'll practice finding more mistakes in code. Each task in this lesson has 2 bugs. All right, so this says look at the code and output on the phone, okay, to help you find the mistakes. So number 2 says fix the first misspelled tag name, okay. So let's look at our code. Now, I'm going to get you guys, I'm going to rely on y'all to kind of help me find these codes because I see both of them immediately. Yes, where's the first one? Line 3, title is spelled wrong. So let's go fix this. They got the L and the T transposed. So T-I-T-L-E. Okay, so that's the first mistake. And now on your phone, you should notice that now the title displays. A while ago, nothing was showing because some of these tags, they're critical errors, and you know, it might cause your whole section of code to either not appear, or if it does appear, it might not be formatted the way you want it to be formatted. So there's the first one. Somebody tell me where the second one is. Yes, sir. Okay. Which line? Line 5. Line 5, the image tag is misspelled. I've got ing instead of img. So notice over there, there's no picture showing up on our phone. So right here, let me try to make this a little bit larger. Right here, like Daniel said, line 5, the image tag. Okay. And some of these are kind of hard to find. But I guess I've been coding so many years, they stick out like a sore thumb to me. As soon as I looked at it, I saw both of the mistakes. Okay. All right. So we fix that. Okay, so that shows. Did it not show a while ago? When that was at the end? No, the Code Avengers logo. See, now it's not showing on the phone. If I change the N to an M, there's the Code Avengers logo. Okay? All right, so we can check this. It tells us that it's complete. Yay, my thing's staying up there a little bit longer this time. I don't know what the deal is with that. All right, hit next. Now we're on 6.2, missing end tags. Okay? Another common mistake is to forget to add the end tag. This task has 2 more bugs to fix. So we're going to find both of them. Okay. So we are missing ending tags. I see 1. I see 2. I see both of them. Okay. So let me make this a little bit larger. All right. Somebody tell me where the first one is. Yes, Elijah. Line 5. 9. Okay. What's missing on line 9? The ending tag. Well, here's the open tag, but I'm missing the entire ending tag at the end. And you're right, we don't have one that has a / in it. So I'm going to type angle bracket / H1 angle bracket. Okay. Anybody find the second one? Somebody, anybody? There's another, remember, it's an ending tag. So it's going to be the one where there's supposed to be one at the end, and it's not there. For example, like let's look on line 3. There's the open tag for title. There's the closing tag for title. Okay. On line 5, there's the open anchor. There's the closing anchor. Anybody see it yet? Yes. Line 7, what am I missing? The closing anchor tag. So after the word blog, thank you, we need to close, whoops, I almost did that wrong. Close the anchor. All right. This can cause mistakes with your page not displaying items and elements that are supposed to be on there. Okay. Any questions on that one? All right, good deal. We're going to click check. And it's going to tell us it's right. And we're going to move on to 6.2. Excuse me, 6.3. Okay. Spelling in attribute values. Okay. What color are my attribute values? Attributes are green. The attribute values are red. Okay. I heard somebody say it. They're red, and they also should have double quotes on each side of them. Okay. So it says it's also common to make mistakes in attribute values. So we're going to look at the areas that are red, and we're going to find two bugs. So let's make this larger. I see 1, I see 2. Okay. So let's look on there. So again, by it saying that it's in the mistakes are in the attribute values, we know to look straight at the values that are in red and find them. But if you're writing your code and something's not working right, you may not know that it's in attribute value. So by practicing these, it kind of helps you learn what to look for. What are the common mistakes? All right, so I see both of them. One of them probably might be a little bit challenging to find one of them. Remember, we're looking in the red. Yes, Amia? The E in style sheet. So on line 2, the style sheet is not spelled right. It's missing an E. So we fixed that one. Can somebody find the second one? This one's a little bit more challenging. You're going to have to really think. You're going to have to know. You're going to let's see. You're going to have to know how certain things are formatted. Okay, to know that it's missing something. Can I find it? Nobody can find it? Yes, ma'am. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where it is. On line 5, you've got your image, you've got your source, you've got images, logo 1, that should say .png. So again, you would kind of have to know how your images are formatted. Because if I look on all my, how many images do I have? I don't really have any. That's the only image I have. But up here, like your profile, that's the name of a document. You've got .css, that's the file type or the file extension. Down here on our website, I've got codeavengers.com. That's the extension of the URL. Okay. So here in images, I didn't have a .png. Okay. So again, that one was a little bit hard to find, but if you know how things are supposed to be formatted, again, it was kind of easy to spot that one. All right, so we checked that one. We're going to click next and go to 6.4. All right, incorrect attribute names. So now we're looking for what color? What color are my attribute names? Green, okay? So we can narrow it down to things that are in the green. There's not a whole lot. And we know we got 2 mistakes. Let's see. I see 1. I see 2. Oh, this was tricky. This one's a little tricky. Again, you've got to know how things are formatted. But I'm going to wait. I'm going to see if y'all can find them, and then I'll try to give you some hints as to where they are. We're looking at things that are in green. Now, if I look at everything that's green, this is why it's a little tricky. I don't see anything that's misspelled. My relationship, that's spelled right. You know, the SRC, lots of times, the R and the C gets transposed. There's been a couple of you that I've helped you with your code, and you've had SCR instead of SRC. You're still working on 1 through 5, right? McKinley? Okay. We've moved on. We're on 6 through 10, but all the videos from 1 through 5 are in the instructions. So if you go in the instructions at the top, there's 3 different videos that cover 1 through 5. Okay. All right. Href is spelled right. So I don't see anything wrong with the spelling of the attribute names. So what's wrong is they've got the wrong attribute in the wrong place. I mean, I guess. On line 2, that's right. On your link, the 2 attributes that you use for the link is the relationship and the href. Okay, whoa. So that's the first one that's wrong. So let's go here. We're going to take off. That's clear. Right ahead. HREF. Okay. So that's the first mistake. Where's the second one? Same kind of instance. Yes, Daniel. Yep. Yep. The second HRF on line 5, that's for an image. An image uses what attribute? SRC, the source, SRC. Good job, y'all. Okay. So again, if you learn kind of the format, the formulas for all of these elements, like anytime you put an image on there, you automatically know, okay, if it's an image, I've got to use an SRC. If it's an anchor, I got to use an href. If it's a link tag, I use relation rel and href for that. Okay. So once you kind of get that memorized and you know what goes with what code, it really becomes kind of easy. And for me, and I've said this before in class, I love troubleshooting code. I love looking at code and know there's a mistake in there somewhere and finding that mistake. I think it's kind of like, it's just fun. All right, so we're going to check this. We're going to go to next. So now we're on 6.5. Text in the wrong place. So this means my element for a line of code, I'm going to have text that's not where it should be. Okay, it's going to be in the wrong place. Oops, I got to zoom up. All right, so let's make this large so you guys can look. So here you're going to kind of know, you need to know how an element is formatted. If you've got an anchor, you need to know how things should be placed. If you've got an image, you know what parts are in an image and when things are out of place. So let me look at it for a second. All right, I found one. Oh, one of them's not text. One of them is actually a symbol is in the wrong place. So one is text that's in the wrong place. And the other one is a symbol that's in the wrong place. Yes, Amia? Okay, yes, block. So I guess when you said it like that, it is blog is in the wrong place. I was just thinking that angle bracket just needs to be moved over here, but you're right. We just need to move blog on the outside of it. Okay, so that's on line 7. All right, so we're going to take blog and we're going to, whoops, it's a little bit easier for me to do since I have a mouse. You guys might need to, whoa, didn't need to go that far. It's a little harder to do with the little thingamajig, can't think of the name of it. Not text pad, but I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. All right, so that's one. What about the second one? Dana? You know where it is? Daniel, you know where it is? All right, Amia, where is it? Before the ending tag? Yes. All right, so on line 6, the about us text and that vertical line there needs to be in front of the closing tag, because the about us, that's the, and if you remember, we wrote this line of code the other day. The about us is the hyperlink text or the anchor text. So it has to be between, so I'm going to move all this. It has to be in between my 2 angle brackets. Okay. Hey, Felix. How are you? All right, Felix, we're working on 6 through 10. You're still working on 1 through 5, right? So if you'll use the videos that's in the instructions for lessons 1 through 5 to get you through those. And then, of course, I'm recording this one so you can use this one later. Okay. All right, so we have fixed both errors here. by moving text to be in the right location. Okay, so that's 6.5. So we're going to check it. It's going to tell me I'm correct. If you wanted to play the bonus game, you could. We're going to move on. All right, lesson 7. All right, we got a little note pop up that says, remember to check the reference guide for examples of each HTML tag. Using the reference guide costs 0 points. So anytime, like if you know you're supposed to use an anchor tag, but you just can't remember how to format that tag and all the text and all the attributes and everything that goes with it, go to the reference guide, type in anchor, and it's going to give you an example. That doesn't deduct any points off your total score. Now, if you click on that little question mark, it is going to take, it's only going to take 2 points off. But if you do that over and over and over, it's going to, you're not going to make as well a grade that you could. Okay, so let's close this. Okay, so lesson 7, fundamental website tags. This lesson reviews what you have learned so far. The code in the editor is the code for the example page, with the tag names replaced with a question mark. Your task is to make your page look the same as the example page. This page is about Dr. Mike Walmsley, who created Code Avengers. Okay, so we are going to, here's the example page. Okay, there's my H1, and then this is a subheading. And if I go to my page, I have that information on there, but I don't have a background image. I don't have my heading formatted the same way, nor my subheading, okay? So we've got to fill in all of these question marks with the correct tags. This is a great exercise for you to know what goes where. And I've said this to several of you when I've come around and I've helped you guys with your code. These 3 lines of code are usually always at the very top of every program you're going to write this semester. They're just kind of a separate little, I don't know, a heading for your page. Okay, so line 1 looks fine. We got doc type. There's no tags to add there. Okay. Now line 2, what do you think line 2 is doing? What's it providing? Code Avengers. And then creator. It's the what? Are you saying header? Anchor? It's not really a hyperlink there. That's when we would use the anchor. It's not really a hyperlink. That's providing text that would go on the web pages tab, the tab of the web page in a browser. Does anybody remember the set of tags? This is an open tag and a closing tag that puts text on the tab in your browser. Anybody remember? I think, what'd you say? Did you say something, Darwin? No? Amia? Title. Okay. So title has a start tag. So we're going to type that in, T-I-T-L-E. And then over here, my ending tag, they've already typed the / for me. So that was kind of nice. They kind of let us know which ones have a opening and a closing. So there's the first one. Okay. And now remember what that does. Nothing's still formatted on our page yet. There is nothing. Your phone display should still be white with that text on there. Okay. Now line 3. Line 3, if we just read what's there, we see style sheet and we see a profile.css. So the purpose of that line of code is to link this page to a CSS style sheet that Code Avengers created for us. So this is going to give us that background texture, and it's going to give us the color around our headings and our subheadings and our text and all kinds of stuff. Okay. So here there's only one question mark, so there's one word that's missing on line 3. Can somebody think what that is? And it's not an anchor. It's not an anchor. Did you say link? Okay, link. L-I-N-K. The link tag links an HTML page, which our HTML page, we don't have tabs up across the top, so I don't know what it's named. Probably index HTML. It links our HTML page to the CSS style sheet. And it's just linked. It's not an anchor. All right. Anchors are our hyperlinks. All right. Okay, so now we just need to figure out lines 5 and 6. And if we look over here, if we look, I wanted to get down there. It is. If we click on our example, I got it too large. Okay. Too bad I can't have all of this big, but still see the phone. Okay. So on my example, one is my main heading, one is my subheading. Which one is which? Code Avengers, the one that says Code Avengers, which one is that? That's my main heading. What tag do we use with our main heading? H1, okay? Then I've got my subheading here, okay? And normally it kind of goes from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, unless Code Avengers tells you all of a sudden in the middle of the page to use an H4. But what can we assume that our subheading is going to do? Which level heading is that going to be? H what? 2. Okay, we can just kind of assume that that's an H2, and we can compare it and see if it's the right size. So on line 5, that's our H1. Line 6, that's our H2. All right, and then we'll see if it looks like it's the right size. So there's my H1. I'm going to close my H1. Here's going to be my H2. I'm going to close my H2. And then I'm going to look at the output on my phone. Yep, that looks about right. There's my page. There's example page. My page, example page. So I can tell everything is good. So I can check this and we can move on. Any questions about this one? Anybody that's doing this with me? Catherine, are you doing this with me? Or you think I'm finishing up 1 through 5? Okay. Just try to keep in mind who's doing this with me. Okay. All right, so I'm going to check this. Oh, it's back to flashing fast. I don't know what I did. That drives me crazy. All right, so we're going to go to next. 7.2, formatting text. We've added some details about Mike Walmsley. Add the missing tags to make your code look like the example page. If you can't remember, now this is kind of to all of you doing it on your own. If you can't remember something, use the reference guide. Okay. All right, so we're going to add tags to put the name, birthday, and job on separate lines. What do we use to do that? What have we learned how to do? Yes, ma'am, Anna Grace. You had a what? Okay. They've asked us not to send y'all out during class, so just maybe email your teacher. Use Canvas to email your teacher, and then we're going to go get it after class. Okay, but thank you, McKinley, for letting her use it right now. All right, so what tag did we learn how to use that puts the moves the text to the next line? BR, which stands for break. Okay, so we're going to use that for number 1. Then it says add tags to bold the words name, birthday, and job. What tag did we learn to bold the words? Strong. Okay, and then it says add tags to make 14 look like 14 with a TH raised. What tag did we learn to use to do that? I heard somebody start. I heard this. What's it called? Superscript. Okay, we got superscript. It raises it above the line. Subscript does it below the line. Okay. All right. So now we know all the tags we're going to use. We're going to use breaks. We're going to use strongs, and we're going to use superscript. So let's go make it look the way it's supposed to. All right, so let's click back on my page. Okay, so where do we need to put some breaks? Okay, because the space from here to name, that looks okay. But then right here, Mike Walmsley, PhD, that birthday, I need birthday to go to the next line. So after that PhD, which is right here, now you could put the break just like that, okay? I'm going to put it on a separate line. okay? I just like having my code separated like that. But if you want to put the BR at the end of the line, that is fine, okay? So now we got his name on a line by itself. We got birthday, but then right there where it says job, I need that to go to the next line. So I'm going to go after the birthday. And again, if you want to put your BR there, you can. I'm just going to another line and I'm putting my break there. Okay, so I got my breaks in the right place. Now I never can remember if that colon is supposed to be bold or not. Let me go to the example page. The colon is not bold. The colon, if you notice, is white. So I don't think it's bold. Is it bold? No, I don't think it's bold. Because I think anything that we make bold is going to be blue. Okay, so we're not going to include the colon, and that's important because that lets us know where to end the strong tag. Okay, all right, so the first thing I want to make bold, and I can make this large, is name. All right, so I'm going to go to line 8. I'm going to add a strong tag, and then remember, we're not bolding the colon. All right, it's very important to look and see what is bold and what is not. So that way I know I'm ending the strong before that colon. Now you can copy and paste here if you want to. I'm just going to type them. Strong is a short word. If it was something really, really long, I'd probably copy and paste, but I can type strong pretty fast. You can type in here, just out of curiosity. How many of you can type without looking at the keys? Raise your hands really proudly. Okay, that's a good skill to learn. There's several software programs that we used to use as a warm-up to help you guys learn to touch type. And I might start back using that. I used to use typing.com. I've used Mavis Beacon. Somebody the other day told me about something called Typing Club. We might try to incorporate that because there's only like 6 of you. And touch typing is a really good skill to have, and it's not taught anymore. Keyboarding is not taught anywhere, not even in elementary school, middle school. Thank goodness my daddy taught me. I think I was like 8 or 9 years old on a manual typewriter. My dad taught me how to touch type. And it really helps not having to look at the keyboard. But anyway, I'm sorry. Okay, so now if you look at your phone, you should see name, birthday, and job blue and bold. Okay, now I'm not going to take the time to move my screen over to look at it. I'll look at it in a minute. Let's go ahead and fix that superscript that we need to finish. So we've got a date here for his birthday, which was April the 14th. So here we've already said we use the superscript, but the tag is actually what 3 letters? SUP. Okay, good job. So SUP is my open tag. I'm going to go after that H, and I'm going to close it, SUP. All right. Now I want to look at my phone because I want to make sure everything looks exactly like my example page. I'll leave that for a minute, those of you that are doing this with me. So I've got my breaks in the right place. I've got my 3 sets of strong tags to bold the words that need to be bold. I've added the superscript tag to raise that TH above the line. Okay, so I'm going to look at my phone. And it's a good idea to do this, especially those of you that are doing this without me. Just look at your example page and say, yep, that's what it's supposed to. Yep, that's what mine looks like. Okay, questions? Everybody good on this one? All right, we're going to check it. And we're going to go to the next one. All right, 7.3, images. Okay, so this lesson, review images. We are going to add Mike's profile image to the page. Now remember, we could go out on the internet, find a picture, click on the little small thumbnail to get, you always want to get those pictures full size, right click on it and say copy image address if we wanted to find our own picture. But if you look at the instruction here, Code Avengers on number 1 is giving us the path of where the picture that they want us to use of Mike Walmsley, I guess I'm saying his name right, is located. So it's located in a folder named Images on Code Avengers website. So we're going to use that as our source in just a minute. Okay. So it says add an image with the following attributes. We're going to set the source, the SRC, to that. We're going to change the height to 140 pixels. We're going to set a tooltip that says Mike Walmsley. What is the name of the tag that we use to add a tooltip? Title. I heard somebody say it. Title. Title is the tag that we're going to use in number 3. And then we're going to set the alt text to Mike Walmsley, creator of Code Avengers. Remember, our alternate text is there for someone is sight challenged and they're using a screen reader. When it got to pictures, it's going to read whatever you as the programmer sets for that alternate text. Okay? So we got to get the picture on there. So look at the example, and he looks so young to be the creator of Code Avengers. But that's Mike Walmsley. That's on the example page. You can see where it's located. It's located below the job. They've added that for us. So let's go here, and we are going to we're going to add that. Okay. All right. So I need to get my cursor down here. Okay. So the tag we use for images is, I kind of need to be able to see my instructions and that at the same time. So what's the tag if I want to get a picture on here? IMG. So there's my image. Whoops. Okay. Now that's the tag, but we're going to add several attributes. Okay. So I got my IMG and I got my G. I can't make this a lot bigger yet because I kind of need to read this. If I can get that memorized, I can make it bigger. All right, set the source of the images to this. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. So I think if you just click on it one time, it copies it to your laptop's clipboard. So we're going to go in here next to the G. And I'm going to press the space. And I'm going to type SRC equals, and then my set of quotation marks. Okay. So my IMG space SRC equals my set of quotation marks. And then that picture, the path for the picture that Code Avengers is giving us is going to be placed right there between the two quotation marks. Okay. So I'm going to paste it right there. Okay. So that's going to get our picture over there. Again, I'm not going to move over and look at my phone, but you guys should see your phone, and the picture of Mike Walmsley should be there. I don't know how big it is. I don't know if it's too small or too large, but we're going to correct that. We're going to use the height attribute. Normally, we use the width, but this one's going to give us the height. All right. So I'm going to go back here, put my cursor where my G is. I'm going to use the height attribute. Make sure it's spelled right, because if you spell it wrong, whoops, I almost left off my equal sign. And then my quotation mark. So again, notice there is a blank space where this ending attribute value is and where that next attribute starts. So don't have them squished up together. Several of you, again, when I helped you troubleshoot your code, that was the problem. You didn't have a space in front of that attribute. Everything green should have a space in front of it. Okay? All right, so what does it tell me? I'm not going to scoot back over there, but somebody tell me, what's the height supposed to be? Huh? 140. Okay, so 140 pixels. Again, make sure that 140 is inside quotes. It will still work if you don't put it in quotes, but that, again, like I've said before, that is a bad habit to get into by not putting all attribute values inside quotes. Okay. The next thing it tells us to do what? Is the tooltip. Isn't that the next one? All right. I'm gonna rely on you guys to help me with this, okay? So I don't have to so I can keep my code nice and large so you guys can see it. Okay, so the tooltip, we already said a while ago, that is the title tag. So title equals quotation marks, and right here, see, notice that X popped up. That X popped up because I've got my height attribute and my quotation mark right beside of each other. So I need to put a space in there. Okay, gets rid of that X. Okay. All right, so our tooltip, I can remember the Mike Walmsley. Walmsley, is that how it's spelled? Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. And then it's a comma, and I can't remember the next part. Is it creator? Is it just the word creator? Creator of Code Avengers. Creator of Code Avengers. Make it a little bit smaller. Okay. So there's my tooltip. And then we're going to add our alternate text. Well, let me wait. I'm going to give y'all a couple minutes because that's kind of a lot to type. And I might be doing title and alternate text in the wrong order. If I am, I apologize. But again, I just didn't want to keep scooting back over, making the screen small, reading the directions, coming back, making the screen large. So I'm relying on y'all. I want to get all 10 points on this task. Okay, so now we're going to do the alternate text. So I'm going to go in front of my title attribute, and I'm going to type alt equals quotation mark, and again, make sure you put a space there. Now this part, is the title and the alternate text the exact same thing? Will somebody look in the directions? What they want us to use for the alternate text, is it the same thing as what they want us to use for the title? No. All right, what's supposed to be my alternate text? The alternate text is supposed to be just creator of Code Avengers. Okay, so do I have more in my tooltip than I'm supposed to?
Just
okay. All right, so let's go here. I'm going to paste that in. So just get rid of this part. Okay. Yeah, I think I did them out of order, and I think that's what messed maybe y'all up. Okay. So my alternate text, if someone is site challenged and they got a screen reader, when it got to that picture, it's going to say Mike Walmsley, creator of Code Avengers. But when I hover my mouse over his picture, what I've got in my tooltip just says Mike Walmsley. Okay, so we'll test all that out in just a second. Okay. Any questions on that? Those of you that are doing this with me. All right, let me go over here and look and see. So I'm going to take my mouse. There's Mike. And I hover over the picture. There's my tooltip. Now, I don't have a way to, that'd be pretty cool if I had a screen reader. I don't have a way to test the alternate text, but I think it's right. So and make sure everything is capitalized the way they tell you to capitalize. Now, I have creator capitalized. I'm going to check mine first. Let's see if it marks it wrong because I did that. Check. Nope, it marked it right. Okay. I was worried because I've got creator capitalized and over here they don't. But try to have it exactly like they have it. Because sometimes it will mark it wrong if the casing is not right. All right, so we're going to go to next, 7.4. We're doing good today. All right, 7.4, review anchors. Next, you'll add 2 anchors. The first will link to a section of a keynote speech that Mike Walmsley, gave about how Code Avengers got started. I would love to hear that. I'm not going to play it during class, but that would be really cool to hear that. All these years, I've never looked at that keynote speech. The second is going to link the Code Avengers heading to the Code Avengers homepage. Okay, so we're going to do 2 anchors. So the first one says link Mike's image to this video with the URL. So they're giving us the href value for our anchor. Okay. All right. So we've got to get his picture set up. And I'm gonna give myself a couple of blank lines. We got to get that picture set up because when we click on this, because remember if I hover, it says Mike Walmsley. If I click on it, I want it to take me to this keynote or to this video. Okay. All right. So I have to create an anchor. So there's my anchor, there's my open anchor. I'm gonna go after this, and there's my closing anchor. Okay, I'll try to make it a little bit larger so you guys can see. So find the picture of Mike Walmsley. On the line above it, create your anchor. I'll be there 1 second, Anna Grace. And under it, create your closing anchor. Okay, do you need me to come back there, or did you just have a question? Okay, let me pause the recording. Okay, all right, so I've set my anchor up. Now I just need to fill in all the attributes for the anchor. Okay, so the first one I'm going to do is the href. Okay, so they give us the href here. So I'm going to click there in that square, and thank goodness that it copies that for us. So I'm going to go here to my line 13. I'm not sure if it's your line 13, but my line 13. I'm going to press right beside, or click one space right beside the anchor. I'm going to type in my href, my equal sign, my quotation marks. Okay, so I got that ready, got my href attribute ready. So I'm going to click in between those quotation marks. That's where I'm going to paste that path the Code Avengers gave us on number 1. Okay. So now I should have a link so that when I click on his pictures, now I'm not through, but when I click on his picture, it should take me to a website where there's a video. Now this says that it's broken. Y'all put the food up. Felix, come on. I told you that a while ago. No eating in here, please. So it says YouTube refused to connect. I'm going to go back to my page. I don't see a way that I can open this up. You know how it usually has that little black area up here where we could view it live on the internet? That part is gone. I don't know why. But I was going to say I would open it up on the internet and see if it would take me to that video. Maybe that's the reason I've never listened or watched that video, because maybe we can't get to it. Okay. If I do what? Say a little bit louder. I'm sorry. This thing right here is running, and it's like a hum. So if you want to watch the video, you can go to the video. Oh, and it's there because it works on there. What did it work on that? Oh, I can laugh because we haven't set the target yet. Oh, I closed my Zoom. I hope it's still working. Hopefully it's still working. We hadn't set the target, so I bet when we set the target, it opens it up in a new tab. I bet then it's going to work. Let's try it then. Okay, so number 2 says make the image link open in a new tab using the target attribute. So I'm going to go again right beside of my A. Whoops. And I'm going to press a space, and I'm going to do target equals. Y'all remember what goes inside quotes? Target equals what? What's our target? Nobody remembers? Any of y'all doing this on your own? What y'all type in there? Oh, underscore blank. Except I typed it in the wrong place. It's supposed to be in between the quotes. I was like, why is it green and not red? Underscore BLANK. Okay. So now let's test it and see if it opens it up. Because what it is, if the web page is too large to display in this phone area, that's when we get that little message of the little upside down smiley face, I guess, which would be a frowning face. Yeah, now it works. So there's him. It's like 2 minutes long. Again, I'm not going to watch it.
So I come from a large family with 29.
Oh, I love his accent. That New Zealand accent. Okay. All right. So then we got number 1 and number 2 working. Now number 3. Link the Code Avengers heading at the top of the page to the Code Avengers homepage. Does anybody remember what we use inside quotation marks? What's the href for the Code Avengers homepage? Anybody remember? It's one symbol. It's a / okay? If you are linking to the Code Avengers webpage, that's all you need is just that /. I don't think we need the index on there. We've used it one time with / is it / index or index / index, but I don't think we have to use that this time. Okay, so I got to find my heading. So there's my H1 here. Okay, mine's on my line 5. It's probably your line 5 as well. So I'm going to go right beside of that H1. well, no, I'm not. I'm going to go in ahead of it, and I'm gonna add an anchor, and I'm going to add it to, I'm gonna add my href to go to the Code Avengers homepage, okay? So let me give myself some blank lines here. Probably don't need that many. All right, I'm gonna set this up exactly the same way as I did a picture, okay? So I'm gonna go above it, and I'm gonna type in my anchor. I'm gonna go below it, and I'm gonna close my anchor. Let me make this a little bit larger. Okay. So here's my heading, and I want to link it so that when I click on Code Avengers, it takes me to Code Avengers homepage. All right. So I'm going to go right here beside my anchor. I'm going to press the space bar. I'm going to type href, because that's the attribute that goes with anchors, equals, and I'm pretty sure all we have to use is that. I'm going to click the question mark. You guys don't click the question mark. I don't think we have to put index with it, but let me make sure. This is one worth clicking. Oh, we do have to do index. Okay, so I was wrong. Somewhere in here, there's a place where we only have to use the /. But like I said, I clicked the question mark, so you guys didn't have to lose the 2 points to get that. So it isn't just the /, it's / index. I swear there is something coming up, and we just have to put the /. Okay. Hopefully I'll remember to point that out when we get to it. I don't know where exactly it is. Okay. All right, so that's number 3. Number 4, add a tooltip that says go to homepage to the anchor tag from step 3. So step 3 is this one. So we're going to go here. Let me make this a little bit larger. We're still working in the anchor on the Code Avengers heading. If we want to add a tooltip, we use the title attribute. So title equals, and then there's my set of quotation marks. I did my little space, so I got a space between that last quotation mark and my href. Okay. And it says right here, go to Code Avengers homepage, and we want to spell it. And let's see if we can copy it. Can we copy it? Oh, yes. We're going to copy it. Well, I don't think mine copied. Oh, it did. It copied it. And then over there on my title, I can just paste it in. And the reason it's a good idea to do that, again, because if you don't spell something the way Code Avengers has given it to you, even there's going to be like, I think there's one time we used the word color in text. They spelled it COLOUR. And if you don't spell it that way, they mark it wrong. So anytime they give me text to use, I try to copy and paste it. Okay. All right. So that is the last one. Any questions on my code? And we are going to test this. So I'm going to hover over Code Avengers. There it is. Go to home page. So my tooltip works. Let's click on it. And it should take me to Code Avengers homepage. Okay. It's not really Code Avengers homepage. That's my page. But it says it goes to the Code Avengers homepage. Anyway, I'm not going to question that. That is just fine. We're going to check it. And we are ready to move on to 7.5. Okay. Any questions on this one before we move forward? Okay. All right, 7.5. Okay, here we're going to create the lights page. And this page has a lot of things we're going to do to it. But we're going to start out with just adding 3 images. Then it's going to tell us to link each of those images to the site that it's from. And what I did in years past when we've done this, I've just had all my pictures go to Google instead of where exactly I got the picture from. Okay, it'll just kind of make this lesson go a lot faster. Okay, all right, so let's start with number 1. Copy the link tag used in profile HTML that links to our CSS style sheet and paste it onto the lights.html document. Okay, so let's first of all, let's copy this link from our profile page. Okay, Should be your third line of code. Yes, ma'am. You've already done this one? No, the last. Oh, the last one. Okay, well, let me back up. Let's go back to which one was it? This one, 7.4. Okay, so double check your code. Okay, I'm going to click on my lights tab. Oh, I don't know if this is still copied, but I need to copy that link line of code. And I'm going to go to my likes page and I need to paste it. Okay. They don't tell us to do the doc type or the title. We probably should, but they don't tell us to. So I'm just going to skip that. Maybe we'll add it later. I'm not sure. Okay. All right. So we've done number one. I'm going to press enter a couple of times. Now I need 3 images. So I'm going to go ahead and set up 3 image. And sorry, oops. Kind of placeholders. I'm going to do that 3 times. And I'm going to put these on separate lines. I don't know why I didn't just copy and paste that. I'm making all kind of typographical mistakes. So let's just copy this. Okay, so it's set up. It's ready for me to add 3 different images. So I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to find 3 things I like. So anything you like doing. Like I love hummingbirds. I think they're great. I love redbirds. I love watching. I got all these bird feeders in my backyard. So I'll probably find a picture of a hummingbird, a picture of a redbird. And daisies are my favorite flower, so I'll probably find a picture of a daisy. Okay? All right, so does everybody have this set up? Because we're going to put 3 images in there. Okay? All right, so I'm going to go open a new tab. And I'm going to use Google, so I'm just going to look for a hummingbird. Hummingbird. I'm going to go to images. Okay, so I'm going to find one that I like. Oh, that one's beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna try. Oh, that's pretty. That's pretty. I keep saying, no, I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna use this one. It does not matter which pictures you use. So let's try not to spend a lot of time on this because we've got 11 minutes till the bell rings. So I'm just gonna click on one that I like. Because remember, we don't want to copy the URL from a thumbnail. Those tend to be a lot longer in length. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna right click on my image. And I'm going to choose copy image address. All right. Copy image address. Right click, copy image address. I'm going to go back to my Code Avengers page. And I'm going to click there. And I'm going to add my, I can talk. I'm going to add my hummingbird. Okay. Now it looks like it's really large, but I'm not going to worry about that now. I'll resize all of them in a minute. Okay. You might want to pay attention to the orientation because like if you want all your pictures to be the same size, the layout or the orientation needs to be the same. Like this one is, I guess this one would be more like landscape instead of portrait because it's wider than it is tall. So I'm going to try to choose all 3 pictures. It doesn't have to be. That's just a little bit of my probably OCD. All right. So now I'm going to go find a picture of a red bird. Oh, you know what? I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to do butterfly. Since I did a hummingbird, I'm going to do a butterfly. And then a daisy. But butterflies hold significance to my life. Let's see. There's one I like. Again, don't try to... don't spend a whole lot of time finding one. This one's really pretty. So remember, click on the thumbnail to get the large size of the picture. Right click, copy image address. Again, thank goodness this one is a landscape one. And I'm going to paste it in as my second picture. Okay, there's my second picture. And you can see they are really, really large, so I'm gonna have to resize them. So I'm gonna go back to Google. And this one, I'm gonna choose a daisy. All right. This one looks like it's landscape, so I'm just gonna go ahead. Oh, this one's pretty. Let's click on this one and see. Yeah, this one's landscape, so I'm gonna do this one. Okay. Copy image address. Gonna go back to my code Avengers. I'm gonna paste that in. So now I should have 3 images. And I got all these images from Google. I'm not gonna worry about getting the individual address of where exactly I got that page from. I think it's gonna let me use google.com on all of them, but we'll see. We'll probably get to that part tomorrow. Right now, I wanna size them, okay? Yeah, because see, I can't even see all of my hummingbird. I can't even see my butterfly. Oh, that one's huge. Can't see very many of my daisies. So I'm going to go into each one of these images and I'm going to resize them using the width attribute. Now I'm going to just close out that Google tab. I don't need it anymore. Okay. Do I need to give anybody a minute or 2 more to find your pictures? Does everybody have your 3 pictures? Okay, I'll wait just a minute. Okay. Y'all good? Done? Okay. All right, so I'm going to go to my first image. If you don't have all 3 images, if you want to just pause for a second and go do this on one of yours, and then you can do it on the other 2. I'm going to go up to my first image. I'm going to click right beside of that G, press the space bar, and I'm going to do width equals quotation mark. I'm going to try 200. Usually 200 kind of gives a good size. If not, I might have to change that. But I'm going to add 200 as the width to all 3 of my pictures. Okay. Again, y'all know I like to copy and paste, so I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go to my second image. I'm going to click beside of the C, press the space bar. I'm going to paste in that width equals 200. And then I'm going to do the same thing to my third image. Now that might not work. 200 might not be a good number, but it's usually what I always start with. Does everybody see where that's added? Just go right beside of your G in your image tag, press the space, type width equals 200. Make sure your 200 has quotation marks around it. Make sure there's a blank space before your SRC. And then I'm going to go look at that. I like that. That's fine. They could be a little bit larger. I could go in there and change them all to 300 if I wanted to make them a little bit bigger, but I'm kind of okay with that. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to link each image to the site it's from, but that's going to take us, I feel like, a few more minutes than 5 minutes. Maybe we might get one of them done. I'll try one, but I'll probably stop in about 2 minutes. Okay. So if I want to link this image back to Google, remember what I'm going to do. I'm going to go above the image. I'm going to do an open anchor. I'm going to go under the image and close the anchor. Okay, and we can do that for all 3. I think we've got enough time to do that. So open my anchor. Let me make this larger. Sorry, because I know some of you are at the back of the room trying to follow along with me. So open anchor there. I'm going to close the anchor here. Whoops. And then my third picture, I'm going to open the anchor there. And then I'm going to close the anchor here. Okay. So all I did was I found each image. So there's my image. I went above it, did an open anchor. Below it, did a close anchor. And then the only thing we gotta do left is add the href value, and I'm gonna add the href value as google.com. I don't know, I'm gonna see if it'll take just google.com or do I need that HTTPS? I'm gonna just try it. Let me try one. So href equals google.com. All right, so I closed out of Google, so I'm just gonna go test my first one. When I click on my Hummingbird, see if it takes me to Google. No, it does not, because I probably need the HTTPS. So let me go get that. Google, go to Google. I don't know what all this other stuff is. Can I just do google.com from that? All right, let's click on it now. Okay, it's just because I'm not on, it's because Google is too big to show up. So, but that's gonna at least work, because at least it took me to that. So then I can copy this href and paste that in all three. Okay. Let me make this a little bit larger. We got 2 minutes. I think we're still okay. Let me make this a little bit larger. So I just went beside my anchor, press a space, type my href equals. It didn't like just google.com, so I had to go to Google's page to get the https://www dot in front of it. Now I want to see if it marks it right, because I kind of cheated a little bit. I didn't really put where I got that picture from, but let's see if Code Adventures is okay with it. Fingers crossed. They're okay with it.